Pinecone may look just like snow, but he can't hear the ho ho ho. And Santa Cat, he still believes we'll vlog every day till Christmas Eve.
Say Merry Christmas! Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another Vlogmas video. This one was an unplanned Vlogmas video, but you guys requested it. A ton of you requested it. And I thought, okay, this will be a fun idea. So it is going to be a Glitterature, but instead of just going over one book that I've read, I'm gonna be going over a few of the better books that I've read in the last year. I do read books constantly. I read every single night, and I go through at least 1 to 2 to 3 books every single week. I have the Kindle Unlimited app, which I highly recommend if you are a fast reader and you go through a lot of books, because you pay once and then you have access to tons and tons of books. So a lot of the books that I read are on there, but I also purchase them if I see them. I feel like reading is my me time, and I just let myself indulge in it. So I do purchase books, but a lot of the books are on Kindle Unlimited. So the first one that I'm going to talk about today is called A Stitch in Time by Kelly Armstrong. And this book is so good. If you like time travel, mysteries, and romance, this is the book for you, okay? It is about a girl in current day. Her name is Bronwyn, and she goes and spends her summers at like a great aunt's mansion somewhere. She discovers from a very young age that there is a time stitch inside of her bedroom in this house. And what this means is that she can actually slip through time. It's a time slip to a very specific time in that same house, in that same bedroom. And it is the bedroom of the young William Thorne. And the manor that she's visiting in modern day is called Thorne Manor. William Thorne is the same age as her, and they start playing together as babies, as toddlers, because she slips through this time slip without even realizing, especially when she's really little. And they play together their entire life, with her slipping in this time slip and playing with him every single summer growing up. They figure out very early on that he cannot move through the time slip, only she can move backwards, and she can't bring anyone with her, but she can bring things with her, which is really interesting because later on in the series, you find out that cats can also slip back and forth. And so that's just really interesting. I wonder if other animals could. Basically what happens is when she's 15 years old, she and William fall in love. She promises to be back the next summer, and she never comes back. And it's because something happens in the current time. If you read the book, you'll find out, but she ends up inheriting the house as an adult, like 15 or 20 years later. And she slips back in time and sees William, also the same age as her, like 20 years since she's seen him. And of course they fall in love. It's a romance. It is such a good book. There's a lot of mysteries along with it. It's a little bit scary. It's a ghost story. There are ghosts that weave in and out of the story, and you think that it's one person and then you find out it's another person. It's so good. It's a mystery. I highly recommend it. There is going to be a sister book that is going to be coming out, kind of going over one of the other mysteries that doesn't get wrapped up in this first book. And then there's also like a little novella of a Christmas time with this couple. I highly recommend it, especially this time of year after you read the first book, to read the little novella. It's super cute. The next one is another time travel love story, and these are the only time travel books on this list, by the way, but this one is called Transcendence by Shay Savage, and this one is weird, you guys, but it was really good. It is about a modern day girl who gets sent back to caveman times and falls in love with a caveman who cannot speak language. But it is so good, you guys. There's also a second book that is the same story from the caveman's point of view. It is definitely worth reading if you enjoy the first book. It's called Luffs by Shay Savage. I read both of them. Pretty sure this is one that was on Kindle Unlimited, but it is really good. It's weird. This one also has a major twist that I guess I kind of saw coming, but it still is just so cool, where something from their life back in the caveman world is found in current day world. And so like, it's just really good, okay? This one is definitely more sexual than A Stitch in Time. It is an adult book for sure. But yeah, definitely recommend it if you're into time travel romance. Shifting to a totally different style of book, we have The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher. This book is very strange, but it was definitely worth reading. So this girl, Kara, moves into her uncle's mysterious oddity museum to help him run it because she used to spend summers there when she was a kid. And she's going through a divorce and she decides to move back in with him, and she finds a portal to a different dimension inside of this oddities museum. And it is the weirdest world. Like at first I thought it was a little bit Narnia-esque, like slipping into another world and there's all these new creatures, but really it's just one really weird creature that's like corn, but like plants, but they're like really scary and they're like shadows. And I don't know, the way it's written, it's like really, really creepy. Definitely had me hooked from start to finish. It is a really, really like mysterious read. I can't even explain it because it sounds so weird, but if you enjoy Narnia, I think you'd like it because it is that like otherworldly type story, but much creepier. Another one that I really enjoyed is called The Companion by Katie Allender. And this one is about this girl. She's an orphan and she's in an orphanage. Her name is Margot. And she gets selected by this really, really old money rich family to come and live with them. And at first she like doesn't really understand why they picked her. Like it's just very strange. She goes to this mansion and it's like a Gothic style, like very, very intense, huge mansion. And this is a mystery. It turns out that she is there to be the caretaker slash friend of their daughter, who was like really normal and then one day just like stopped talking and is awake and aware and can do simple things like take care of herself, but she won't talk or do anything. This one has a lot of twist and you really try to figure out like what is wrong with this girl, what happened. And as this is all happening, things are starting to happen really similar to Margot, and she starts like not being able to trust her own mind because it's just weird. And it is one of those books that you honestly cannot figure out the twist. Like you think that you have it and then it's just like totally something that you don't expect. It was a thriller. The story also has a nice ending in that it wraps up in a bow. It doesn't leave you with a cliffhanger. It's definitely a standalone story, and I definitely recommend it. The next suggestion that I have is called The Surrogate by Louise Jensen. This is a mystery thriller, and it has so many twists and turns that you literally don't know what's happening until the very end, and it's so good. So it is about this girl who is having infertility issues with her husband. They've tried to adopt several times and it's fallen through last minute, and then she stumbles into her best friend from her childhood and they've had a really bad falling out, but they run into each other, and somehow very quickly it turns out that this old best friend has been a surrogate before and is willing to be a surrogate again for them. And so they decide to do it, which this whole thing is just really weird because it happens really quickly. And I'm like, if this is a childhood friend that you haven't talked to forever because of a bad falling out, why would you ever want her to have your baby? And the whole story is about Kat, who is the mama who wants the baby, who hired her old friend for a surrogate. It's about her kind of going more and more crazy in her head as things get more and more sketchy with the surrogate mother. And she realizes that she might have made the biggest mistake in her life by trusting her baby with someone that she never should have trusted her with. And then there's all these twists and turns, and by the end of it, you're like, what the heck? It's not what you expect. And I'm just gonna leave it as that because you need to read it to like follow the storyline, but it's really good. It's a little bit hard to read if you're someone going through infertility. I don't know why I did that to myself, but I did, and it is definitely worth it if you're into thriller mysteries. And then the last book I'm gonna recommend in this video is the Crave series by Tracy Wolff. I just finished the second one, which is called Crush, last night. This is definitely like an old school Twilight type story where it's kind of like Twilight and Harry Potter. This girl is human and she gets sent to this school because her uncle is the headmaster and her parents have died and she's an orphan, so she like goes to live at the uncle's school, and it turns out that it's a school for paranormals, so it has witches, werewolves, vampires, and dragons. And it is really good. It definitely reminds me of a combo of Twilight and Harry Potter. And the second one, I would say, is even better than the first one. I really enjoyed the storyline of the second one. And she has 2 more books coming out next year. So I'm very excited to read more about this series, especially after the second book, because it's just really good. It is cheesy at times to be reading it as a 32-year-old. I feel like 10, 15 years ago when I was reading Twilight, 15 years ago, it was more like my age, and now it's like literally high schoolers that I'm reading about, but it's really good. It definitely has an interesting, unique storyline, and the storyline in book 2, it just takes off. Like, it is a whole different level. It's definitely worth reading if you're into those types of stories. Even if you're an adult and you feel like you're too old for it, it's a good book series, so I recommend it. So that is going to be all the books that I recommend in this video. If you guys enjoyed this, I can do these every few months because I do read a lot of books. Definitely let me know if this style of video is something that you guys enjoy. And now I'm going to go over and pick out a giveaway gift. For today's giveaway gift, I picked something that I feel like would work really well for like curling up and reading. So first of all, you get this really cute gingerbread coffee mug. I have a matching one myself, and I just think it's so cute. So you can make yourself some tea or hot chocolate or coffee. You can curl up in this really soft, beautiful blush pink blanket, read your books, and you can do a face mask at the same time. So I just thought this would be like a really cute, cozy present that works really well if you're a reader. In order to enter, you need to be subscribed to my channel with the bell notifications turned on, and also following me over on Instagram. For the YouTube entry, you can leave me a comment below. Let me know if there are any good books that you have recently read. If you are a reader, if you're not, leave me another type of comment, that's fine too. And then for Instagram, all the rules will be over there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys maybe got a new book pick that you can read this holiday season. I will link all of the books below, and let me know if you read any of them and what you think about them. And I will see you guys in 2 days with another Vlogmas video. Goodbye.